I got my first car in 2021 when I was 19 years old. That was a big step for me, as I'm sure that it was for any of you having your first car. That car was the VW Jetta 2011. Now, at that time, we had just come out of COVID and everything was very expensive and very in high demand. And so getting a first car that was relatively cheap, relatively easy to drive, and a great beginner car was not easy to find in that time. And so, after much looking, I found that 2011 VW Jetta. I love that car, even though it had a myriad of problems. Mainly the underside was rusting, and in the end I had to get rid of it because it was leaking oil so bad that I was a little scared to drive it. But today I want to memorialize and commemorate that experience by creating my very own die-cast car of it. So I am going to try to take this beat up, not Hot Wheels, because Hot Wheels makes cool cars. This is a Maisto, Maisto VW Jetta. So come along with me on this journey of creating my own first car that I personally owned in toy die-cast. Now, the car that you see in front of you today is not the car that I had. It did not have major paint missing in all of these areas. It did not have wheels that were like this, that can't even move. This car doesn't move well because a lot of the wheels are either totally rusted on the inside, therefore not making it move smoothly, or bent. As you can see, I wouldn't want to drive a car like this, would you? Now, before we actually remove the paint or do anything else, we have to first get the plastic base away from the metal top. Now, the way that I'm going to do that is there are these little holes right here and towards the back that I'm going to drill into. We got it now. Yes, we do. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the inside of a car. These right here are the wheels that were in it. And part of it, as you can see, it is quite dusty and even it looks a little rusty on the inside. These are the wheels that were in it that were extremely rusty and not really cool in my opinion. I got some fresh wheels and tires when it was my car. We have the window piece, so I'll be interested to see how we can clean this up from looking dirty, musty, and frankly unseeoutable, to see how clean we can get it. Let's go to the paint stripping. It says let it sit for 30 minutes. See what it does. Could work, could not. Unfortunately, it's so gluey that you can't really tell what's in there. See a little bit right there. So, 30 minutes from now, we'll come back and check. After letting the car sit in the paint stripper, which I should have just brushed on in the first place instead of dunking it in and wasting some of that, but I learned that too late, as I often do. The paint came off extremely easily, as you can see here. I was just able to wipe it away, and after wiping away the majority of the bulk of the stripped paint, I washed it under a faucet of water instead of milk. Here is what we got done with the car. So we got all the paint off of it. It is looking nice and clean, ready to be sprayed with some primer so that I can paint it with the exact color that my car was. I bought the official blue paint from Volkswagen to put on the car. Just went out and sprayed the car. As you can see, it's a lot more matte, but it's also very smooth, nice and primed for painting. As you can see by the tip of the marker, it has a little bit of a shimmer, a little bit of a glitter to it. Before we do that, we'll have to mask off little bits of this so that we don't have to touch it up later. Mask off. Get it, mask on. Hey, mask on. Hey, get it, mask on. Hey. What I really want to do is tape this on the parts that I don't want to paint, like the lights, like right here, cut right there. Hey, that was pretty seamless. That is looking clean. I'm going to be painting these red. One done. I'm going to do this, that, and then look up pictures because I don't remember if that was black or blue. I think it was, pretty sure it was blue. And then the front as well. I'm going to do the lights and just kind of look at pictures of the car just to see how it was because I don't totally remember. Okay, that is looking great. And I think that we are good to start painting. Let's try to just paint the top to see how it flows. Ooh, that is really nice. It's very sparkly. There's some air bubbles in the top. Don't know if you can see, but I do not want bubbles. I want it to be nice and smooth. Let this dry because it is looking fantastic. So this, I kind of applied it thick. This, I applied it thin. Just give it a little test, see which dries better, which I prefer more. This is what we are left with. The top is a little bit more streaky than I was hoping for, and it's not as bold as I need, so I'm going to have to do 2 coats on it all over the place. The car is completely dry. There are some little bit of streaking on the hood that I would rather not have in the finished product. This side looks quite good. The problem is though, this side has a bit of bubbling. So I'll be taking this off and using some low grit sandpaper. Going to be using some water to get a wet sanding. That just helps it to be smoother as you sand it. So I'm trying to be very careful with this because what I don't want to do is scrape away all the paint and then I'll have to repaint it. All I want right now is just kind of a shiny top coat to it. Now that the whole body is done, I was going to go out and spray it with a sealant, but then I remembered, oh, I have to paint the details. So I was able to scrape away a little bit of that grill right there. Now I have some white modeling paint, some yellow modeling paint, and some red modeling paint for the headlights and brake lights. So we'll be using that. Ooh. It's coming out the top. Now this part was probably the most difficult part of actually creating this model. It took a very steady hand and a very keen eye to realize exactly where I needed to paint and not mess up with these very small details. It took quite a bit of time, but I guarantee you if you put the time in, it will come out looking a lot better than if you just rush through the job. So taking each individual step and really making sure it is completed adds a lot to the final product. Here I wanted to add in the little side reflective bars onto the headlights, which added a hint of realism to the finished product. So the VW logo is supposed to look like this, but when it comes to a dot that's probably a 50th the size of my thumbnail, it's a little bit difficult to get that. So that's as good as we're going to get. Here we are out in the garage so that I can spray this in a nicely ventilated area with a Rust-Oleum clear gloss enamel. We will build that up till it is nice and glossy without any little pockets or anything. So I just got this back in from drying and it looks perfect. It is a lot better than I actually expected. And from a farther distance, that looks quite good. Close up, it's a bit janky. Oh, I'll accept that. We are looking nice and clean. So now it is time to assemble the whole thing. And now the windows are in. Unfortunately, at this point in the recording, I totally forgot to say what I was doing and the purpose of it. Here I am gluing back together the base to the top, and that is with super glue and a bit of baking soda. That acts as a catalyst to really speed up the process of drying it. It holds great. So that is it. After gluing everything together, it turned out really well. Better than I even expected. Is it the most impressive Hot Wheels type car? No, it's a VW Jetta based on my first car. But did I restore it? Did I paint it to the specs that it was before? Yes. Am I proud of it? Very. This was a car that I loved, that I had a very good time in, and that now I have a replica of to put on my shelf and remind me exactly what my first car was, and be able to show, you know, my kids later on when I have them what my first car was. So, if you want to do this, take up the challenge. Do it. If you want to replicate your first car and have something to remember, try it. It's pretty great. It took me a couple days just because of drying time and schedule, but overall it was a very easy process. It was very simple. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to unglue something, put some paint stripper on it, paint it back up, and get it ready to roll. So now it is a rolling, working Hot Wheels style car that looks pretty professionally done. So you go out, have a wonderful day, and do a craft. Do something that reminds you of your childhood or something that you remember fondly. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.